If you want to understand more about the characterization of laws, how the High Court interprets the Australian Constitution, and if you want to have some basis for my next video, you should be watching this video until the end. Hello everyone, my name is Renato Costa, this is Aussie Law, and today we will look at the difference between purposive and subject matter heads of power in the Australian Constitution. If you haven't checked our playlist about constitutional interpretation, I highly recommend you to click the top right corner, the card that is appearing there, and watch the videos, because they will be very handy in your studies about Australian constitutional law. And since we are talking about clicking on things, why don't you click the like button and the subscribe button, and that's the way that you can join our Aussie Law community and always be aware of the new videos that we upload to this channel. Now let's go into today's topic. Purposive heads of power are different from subject matter heads of power. Some heads of power are about subjects, other they express purposes. Let me explain this further. If I say that a statute is about taxation or divorce, these are subject matters that you can easily identify. If you look at the legislation, you know if the content of the law relates to these subject matters or not. That's why these are kinds of subject matter heads of power. They are descriptive of a certain matter, of a certain topic. They describe an activity like trade and commerce, a type of person like a corporation, a recognized category of legislation like taxation or bankruptcy, or an object like currency or lighthouses. These are the subject matter heads of power. But purposive heads of power are different. They're not about one particular topic. They don't have a definite content. When analyzing a purposive head of power, we're not trying to identify its content, but its objective, its purpose. So in terms of purposive heads of power, the content of the law itself does not tell us necessarily what the law is about. There are two heads of power in Section 51. They are unanimously considered purposive heads of power. They are the defense power and the external affairs power. You see, I cannot look at a particular statute and say, this is a defense. There are certain things that do not fall necessarily within the scope of the defense power, but could still be considered as part of the defense power. And the same could happen otherwise. You have to check not the content of the law, but its purpose. Let me give you an example. Imagine if there were some private associations proposing a different system of government in Australia. Because of that, some people believe that these associations would lead to a revolutionary overthrow of the national government. So they propose a law. Let's stop the functioning of these private associations. Could this law be characterized as part of the defense power? The answer is no. This is basically what the High Court had to decide in the Australian Communist Party case. But it's the subject of another video. What I wanted to show you was that the content itself of that law, the dissolution of a political party, did not necessarily relate to the defense, but was argued to fall within the defense power of Section 51. That's because the defense power is a purposive power. It's not about the content, but about the purpose of the law. Hey, do you remember that we talked about the incidental power of Section 5139? Well, some people claim that the incidental powers are also purposive powers. You would need to check whether the purpose of the law falls within the broader scope of the head of power, even though this is not characterized expressly as the core of the head of power. I won't go into that discussion, but I do invite you to go and watch the video that we did about the incidental power. I will leave a link to that video in the description of this video. Now, you may be asking, why is it important for me to know all of this? Why do I need to know that the defense power and the external affairs power are purposive? The reason is that this is relevant for the characterization of laws, and so for the interpretation of the Australian Constitution. When interpreting a subject matter head of power, the High Court applies the sufficient connection test. And when dealing with a purposive head of power, the High Court implements the proportionality test. We will talk about these tests in another video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you won't miss them. Well, I still hope that this video helped you understand the differences between these two types of heads of power. If this was useful, please make sure you like this video and also share it with everyone that you know. And I hope to see you again soon. Until then, ciao.